So what the chances are that you guys are gonna have a white Christmas? Pretty high, it looks like, huh?
I don't know. From what I look like, where the res is at, it's kind of a gap. I don't know. It's kind of spotty. It looks like
everything's north. All the
yeah,
heavy
like
stuff.
Omaha, Lincoln, and then Des Moines looks like they're going to get quite a bit of snow.
Mm-hmm.
I saw there's gonna be like single digits out in your neck of the woods. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
The perfect time to come visit, David.
I know, right?
Just bring shorts. You'll be cool.
Us Oregon kids, you know, we're built for wind and rain and so forth. But when it comes to freezing temperatures, I'm the last man that's built for that. I'll tell you that right now.
I remember when I was going to house school and I first came here, you know, coming from Napa, you know, had never really seen snow on the ground except when I'd go skiing in Tahoe, and come out here and it was, you know, single digits, and people were running around campus with shorts and Birkenstocks.
Oh, wow.
I had like a jacket on, a sweater on, everything, and people were just running around like it was nothing.
I think there's a call where I was trying to tell Tim what Birkenstocks were. He had no idea.
They're sandals.
I do know now.
So the new fashion, Tim, is you gotta wear socks with sandals. Okay, that's the new thing.
And that's this week too, right?
Yeah, it's this week.
Single digits.
All right.
Excuse me, now Tony's on. Yay.
There's Tony. Hi, Tony.
All right, if anyone that's not presenting could actually mute your mic, that'd be helpful. Thank you for that. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stop presenting here. And we have some more. A few more people coming in, guys. So just give us a few more minutes here.
Yeah, we can give a few more minutes, David, if we want.
Yep.
We call that in Indian country. We're running on Indian time. Always late.
Oh, trust me. Chinese time runs the same.
Hey, there's Pat Murphy. Hi, Pat. I haven't seen him for quite a while. Should we go till about 7:05, David?
That's fine. Whatever your call. I'm good with that.
Yeah, we'll give a few more minutes. There might be some people having some troubles getting on.
Yep. Well, this is always interesting and new, isn't it? You guys have never done a webinar series of this like this nature before.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness for technology, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and we've had a couple of people that have sent emails saying that they are so impressed by how we've moved forward to do these, so to include everybody, not just people who live in this area. So I think it's a great thing we're doing.
I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So who's in the football left in the season still for you guys in your area? Nebraska's out, right, Robbie?
The only one that matters is OU.
I think there's probably a number of others that think differently on that one, Tony. But I'll be with you on that one.
Well, I agree. There's probably some other one. There's probably some K-Staters on here and some Huskers. But
Yeah, and then you got Oregon, the Ducks.
oh yeah, I forgot about the Ducks. Or Oregon State. Which one?
No, the Ducks. Well, I know Artis is a Beaver. I'm a Duck.
Okay.
Definitely a Beaver believer.
Yeah, you look like a Beaver.
KU doesn't have a football team.
Who doesn't? Who was that?
I said I'm always amazed that KU doesn't have a football team.
Yeah.
They got the basketball.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Somebody asked me if I was one of their football games. I was like, did they have a team? No, they don't like me too much there.
Just got another one coming in, David. So
Yeah,
we'll give a couple more minutes here just before we get started. Make sure everybody's on.
And we appreciate their patience.
It's kind of sad how Oregon won the Pac-12 North by some sort of a magical fluke, because UW, University of Washington, had too many COVID cases, so their players couldn't come on the field and play a game. So the Ducks were like 3-2, playing against 5-0 USC and beat USC. I wasn't one of the excited fans, though, to be honest with you, because I felt like it wasn't a true season nor a true championship. So I kind of had to. But I'll give the credit to the Oregon State Beavers, because they beat the Ducks this year, which was a fluke year again. That's a fluke thing. That never ever happens, really. The Beavers get a lot of flack for that too. They get creamed every year, pretty much.
Let's see, we had I think 2 or 3 just join in too, so that's good. We're still rolling in here.
Yeah, they must have been Dollins, because I didn't admit them. So yeah, they're Dollins. So that's kind of a good thing about this, is that we can do Dollin, or we can do it, through screens. So, and as people get more and more used to it, they understand how it's going to work out. So it should be pretty easy going forward. You want to kind of start it up, and then we'll kind of just.
Yes, let's go ahead and
And
get
people
started.
start joining.
Go ahead and I want to welcome everybody for joining in this our new efforts of trying to better our communication to the membership. And we've had a number of questions here recently in regards to the CARES Act. So tonight, that's what we'll be focusing on this evening, is going over the number of projects that we've been working on with the EC, the Executive Committee, and then our Economic Development team, along with a lot of the tribal staff as well. So if you can hold all questions until the end, we do have a question and answer there for everybody to ask questions. So, and then also in regards to communication, what the Executive Committee would like is if there's any tribal members out there, if we can have those tribal members call the tribal office and update their contact information within the enrollment department, and they can talk to Anthony Fee or Karina Atkins. They're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. And that is, we're going to try to capture as much as that contact information that we can, so we can better communicate with the entire membership. So with all that being said, I want to thank everybody again for being, on this call tonight. And my name is Tim Rod, and the chairman of the Iowa Tribe of Kansas, Nebraska. And then Lance Foster is the vice chair, and he had other commitments this evening and was not able to join. And from there, I'll take it over. Tony, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll just keep on going down the line.
Tony Fee, Secretary of the Executive Committee.
I'm Elise Towey. I'm the treasurer.
I'm Robbie Craig, and I'm the member.
And David and RT. Who wants to go first?
Hi there, my name is RT Spinet, and I'm a consultant for the tribe on a number of their agricultural projects.
Hey everybody, I'm David Tam, and I'm the Economic Development Coordinator for the tribe.
Thank you, guys. David, you can go ahead, and we'll go ahead and get into the information that we'll present this evening.
Perfect. First of all, I'd say thank you everybody for their time this evening, and I appreciate your patience as we kind of go through this different at times. A couple of housekeeping things I want to make sure that we cover. One is that this link that has been provided and phone number has been provided will be the standard link and call-in number for all of our future calls. Also, let you know the agenda has been sent out previously before. It will be sent out again, the schedule of meetings, and that may change based on availability, but for now it is as is. You'll be updated as those change in the future. With that kind of said, I hope everyone else who is not a presenter can mute yourselves, or I can go ahead and mute as we need to. And we're going to use a little bit of a technology thing, a little different today. I'll be presenting some information about the projects through Google Earth platform, so you can see where they are, and you'll see the very high level information about the various projects. And at the end, I'll also share you the funding allocation about the cost of those projects and how the money went and what was received. So for background, the CARES funding was essentially funding related to COVID to help the communities to help them prosper and endure and create resiliency. The main thing that we focus on when it comes to COVID is talking about preventing, and responding to COVID-19. So these projects were kept in mind about following within the regulations and guidance, the legal standards for CARES funding, how can be legally deployed, and what its intention is. And other members can talk more about that down the road. But I'll go ahead and start with the presentation for project-wise. And 1 second, please. So I believe now you guys should be seeing a Google Earth. Executive Committee, can you confirm you can see that?
I can see it.
Thank you.
Yep, I can see it.
So in our own little spot on planet Earth, this is a representation of majority of the Iowa tribe of Kansas, Nebraska. And bear with me, my computer's acting slow due to so many streamers. So as it's loading, you can see that there are various projects that are throughout the reservation, and some are further off than others. And I'm going to go through them. We kind of prioritize them in a list of infrastructure based projects first, and we're going to kind of go in that order. So the first project we're going to show here is an RV site. One second, please, as it loads up. Okay, sorry, I thought somebody want to get in. Okay, so this site, as you guys probably may know, this is off the 703 trail onto the Missouri River. And there is an idea, the concept here is to create an RV site for this lot. I don't think I need to go into much detail explaining about where the lot is. I also want to put a disclaimer out now that all the projects that we discuss here are projects that are in progress at various stages, and then you will be updated, and also we will go into more detail on the individual sessions that have already been scheduled. So today is just a very high level overview of the projects to let you know what is being considered and what's kind of being planned at this point in time. So here, as you guys see, there is a road that goes through here. There are various RV lots. These are considered for short-term stay. This is not considered a long-term monthly stay. I want to highlight that part of it. Also want to highlight that this to the left of the photo it was originally a marina. That idea has been taken out, and actually it will be a greenway to allow nature have access to the river without interference by attendees of the RV park. We'll go into more detail on this in a later time. The idea behind this was to provide tourism to the area, and also it can provide temporary COVID housing in the event that we needed to for isolation of families. So this is a dual purpose of for housing needs, for emergency purposes, tourism, revenue generation, and also we'll be adding a portable C-store. It's hard to see, but it's up in this corner here. It's going to be a portable C-store to be able to move in and out of the area, as we do know this area does flood periodically. So the next site we're going to there's also the idea here that next to the car wash, there'll be an extension room offshoot between the car wash and the cabins of doing a small laundry facility. This photo is for concept only, is not the actual room or actual equipment, but it will have 2 washers and 2 dryers to provide people to do laundry within the reservation, and would help prevent people from having to travel to outside neighboring cities in the event to do laundry if necessary. Based on our analysis, the closest laundromat would be in Falls City or Hiawatha. We felt that a small facility here to help sanitize clothing would be a good application, good use of funds to ensure the cleanliness of all products, especially during a time of COVID. I apologize, my computer's a little bit slow. This site is off of I-29. There are about 30 acres of land up in this area. What we're showing here is this would be a distribution center concept. This is just a concept photo again, but we're looking at adding 3 to 4 bays of an area to do distribution, as we're on I-29. Is an ideal location as there is already a trucking stop in that area. It has road access to major interstate, so it'd be ideal for a distribution center. Also looking at this as a foreign trade zone, which actually will attract manufacturers and other outside distributors. This site location would help distribute the tribe's products, not just on a local level, but also on a national level or regional level as needed. And also we would attract other entities who would look to have a distribution point at this position, at this location. I apologize.
And David, just to give a little bit of background on the site, as you guys can see, the C-store is just directly be a little bit to the west there. It'd be the exit, I-159 exit there off I-29, and the Iowa tribe used to own the truck stop that was there. We sold it a few years back, but we did keep the existing land that wasn't tied directly to that truck stop and the facilities, because it was a prime location, and we've been looking at economic development for a number of years, and that's one of the reasons we did keep that tract of land. So we're trying to find ways to put that to good use and bring economic dollars back into the reservation that we currently do not have.
Also, just another note to that too. The idea of a distribution center in a foreign trade zone was also done by a tribe out of Oklahoma, I believe. They did a 400-acre area and have prospered very, very well off of that. So we are working with the SBA and also Washington, D.C. to establish something very similar, just on a smaller scale that fits in line with the goals and the missions of the Iowa Tribe. Sorry, we're zooming all over the map, but this can show you that we have a lot of projects kind of everywhere in general. This is kind of a project that, so just to give you guys a hint, if you have not been aware, the Iowa Tribe has secured ownership of 2.5 gigahertz ownership of that bandwidth to be used for a variety of purposes. One, we can either create our own 5G network to cover part of the reservation, or we could actually lease it out to another entity. In most cases, they have to go through an auction block to acquire this land, which would acquire the fiber, which would cost millions of dollars. But the FCC has ruled that the tribes have the right towards ownership, and so we have applied and was awarded ownership of the 2.5. What you're seeing on the screen here is an early analysis of what would that look like. Where would our 5G and slash 2.5, what could it cover? As you can kind of see in this far upper left photo, it will cover a good portion of the Iowa National Park site, plus some other areas. And then on this other photo here, it covers the other side, which so there's quite a bit of farming land in that area. So currently the tribe is exploring what that looks like. This is a non-CARES project, but I do want to share it because there is a portion of it that is CARES, which is we're actually going to look at putting a mesh network of Wi-Fi coverage for the entire reservation, which that would allow potentially greater strength of internet for everybody, greater speeds for everybody, which is important as we want to increase rural access for education, also rural access for business opportunities, and then as well as looking at other ideas like smart farms, which we are in discussions with, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I think it's going to be exciting to look at how we're increasing our communications and our systems to allow that. Another side note is that this will also kind of help a little better with security, and hopefully in the future provide better care services for emergency response. If there's anyone from the Executive Council like to jump in or add more to that, please feel free to do so. So what I'm showing you here, to clarify location of this photo I'm showing you is actually here in what they call the Flaky Mills building. So as you guys know, or if you're not aware of, the Iowa Tribe was the fourth tribe in the nation to secure a USDA industrial hemp plan to move forward with that. And Artis will discuss that a little bit further in more detail on his presentation. But I just want to share with you here that a part of that is that we actually have our own processing facility and lab facility, which this is important for our own work, for the work we're doing within the tribe. But from the economic development standpoint, what this also allows us to do is that we're actually able to process hemp material for other people in the area, or even create other products for people in the area, as this is a true lab facility. So we will be creating more of our own products within our own community, training people from the tribe to do these jobs as we expand, and then again offering the service. Strategically, we felt this was important because if other people want to grow hemp in the area, which we know that more and more people are going to, that we want to be able to provide this service to them, as many people do not have a processing facility. I believe the closest processing facility to the Iowa tribes would be in Kansas City. Artis, is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. And I also just want to add in, so the processing facility that we have here, David made a note that this is a lab. And so many people consider these sort of labs for hemp specifically. We do not. We look at it as more than just being able to process for something like hemp, but as be able to make other different types of products, as well as be able to do different types of plant and mushroom extracts. We're able to use these extracts in various supplements and medicines that we are hoping to deploy at the tribal health clinic, as well as to sell in some of the regional and national level. Many of the different plants that we found on the reservation that are historically and culturally significant, such as echinacea, have shown to have significant support for immune systems. And so, when considering something like COVID-19 and the immense effect that it can have on people who have disrupted immune systems, we are trying to look at other different types of native plants and native medicines that can be used to help support our immune systems and create a healthier and more holistic human being. So I just wanted to add that in there as well, because this is much more than hemp, and because it really does cross that boundary into all these other different types of products and plant medicines.
Thanks, Artis. Also add to that is that we will be looking at creating our own hand sanitizer. We can create essentially anything we want out of the lab, but hand sanitizer is on one of the items that we will be looking at starting in Q1, as well as we have some athletic creams for specifically for athletes to help with muscles, and again working with Dr. Brarash on a couple other aspects of this as well. So this lab is truly a lab. Again, it's not just for hemp, but we will be utilizing it for a lot of hemp services as well, for like CBD and else. So as this loads up, we all know what this place is. I don't need to kind of talk about what it is, but I will like to share with everybody that there is an effort to actually expand Grandview and change the dynamic of it a little bit here. It's important to understand that we want to make sure that there are healthy foods and meats and so forth available. Chairman, would you like to talk more about this project?
Yeah, David. So, we as the Iowa tribe, what we've done on the ag side with the farming operation is we're trying to find ways to diversify the farm and grow different products that we can provide to our membership. But we didn't have anywhere on the reservation, and it's 20, 30 miles out to the nearest grocery store. So what we're looking at is not only will we be growing nutrient-dense quality food, we'll be able to distribute those fresh, healthy food products right here at our C-store, located right on the reservation. There'll be a number of updated coolers and freezers. We're looking at items such as grass-finished beef, grain-finished beef, looking at poultry. We're already currently doing eggs. And we've got honey products as well, and a whole list of other items that we'll get into later down the road. But so what we're going to do is expand, kind of off to the west there, and we'll actually have a small little type grocery store there for tribal members, residents, and the community members to have access to that quality food. There'll be an addition there, so we'll have vegetables. Just all the products that we're creating will be distributed right there to our members. They're super excited about that. And David, I'm not sure if you're looking for anything else on that. That covers the gist of it, I think.
No, that's great. I will also just add in that the tribe has joined the National C-Store Association, so we are actively monitoring and tracking best practices to improve efficiencies and looking at what's the trends in the market. Due to COVID-19 and the rurality of this location, this path is very much the way that most other C-stores are converting into, is making sure that providing a variety of more foods in a location like this, so families don't have to travel as far.
And real quick, David, being south the gas station there, we currently are the cheapest fuel station around, and I'm in St. Joe, Missouri right now, and they're about 20 cents higher. So years past, when the state of Kansas had imposed that fuel tax, we never were able to compete with that added tax. So now we're currently back in competition with the state of Missouri, and that's going to assist the tribal members in access to cheaper fuel as well. So the executive committee has been working hard on this for the last number of months, and we're super excited to see that we're able to get our gas more competitive and save some tribal members some money.
That's great. Thank you, Chairman. So in regards to what the chairman was just speaking about, we're talking about a food production facility. So this building is located off of 664 on the Nebraska side. Just to give you a better idea where it's at, I think you guys have a pretty good idea where this is already. This will actually...
Hey, David, real quick. There will be some of the members probably that are viewing that may not know where some of these locations are.
Okay.
Some of them do, but just to give, this is the Happy Hollow Road. When David had mentioned 664 Avenue there, that's Happy Hollow that we call going down to the bottom of the river, Rillo River Road there.
And this is the administration building here, and this is just the main road that goes in. So on this site here, just to give you an idea, we're already doing eggs as it is now, but there is looking at other food production as the tribe is going to start to produce more different types of food. We want to ensure that we have a facility that meets at least for now GMP certification. So we'll be doing a variety of food products and packaging out of this site. We're using eggs here just as an image. Here is an egg washer and packager system. And Artis, you want to talk a little bit more, or Tony, you want to talk more about this site at all?
I can. So yeah, for this facility, the idea around it is that we'll be using it to expand our egg washing and egg production. Currently, we are operating out of the tribal admin building in very rudimentary capacity, washing them and bringing them to the Grandview station. But with all things and with all projects, we're always looking to expand and to go outside of just the reservation and into some of the local cities such as Hiawatha, Falls City, St. Joe. In order to do that, we need to have the capability and capacity to wash all these eggs and get them graded and packed in an efficient and manageable way, and a way that is very clean. Using this machine that you see here, we'll be able to do just that. But this facility is quite a bit larger than the machine that you see in that, and so the footprint for the egg washing probably will only take up the one half of it. For the other half of the building, we will be using it to expand the Iowa bee farm manufacturing. As some of you may be aware, the Iowa bee farm has exploded in growth since July this year, and has only continued to grow every single month over month. And this year we'll be seeing the bee farm finally break into profits and hitting the highest amount of revenue it ever has. It's pretty phenomenal what the bee farm has done. I think we'll be having another webinar just to talk about the bee farm and the kind of projections that are going for that. But we will be using this to expand that, because currently we're operating out of the building that's on the powwow grounds, and it just isn't big enough. So we got to keep growing, and that is what we're going to be doing here. Tony has been working to get everything coordinated for the construction and outfitting of the building. If you want to add anything there, Tony, you can. But that is the gist.
I think you pretty much covered it.
Wicked.
Thanks, Artis and Tony, for that insight. Artis, this is you.
All right. Awesome. We're going to talk about some of my favorite things in the world, which are greenhouses, and then we'll be going to the next part, mushrooms. So here we have the thermal greenhouse, or the greenhouse in the snow. This was made pretty popular up in Nebraska because there's this. I don't know if elderly is the right word, but I think he was in his 80s, and people found him, and he was growing oranges and lemons inside the greenhouse in the middle of the Nebraska winter. I think there was like it was a picture actually you see right there on the screen. And this is a really exciting type of greenhouse. It's a passive greenhouse that you can grow year round in. Doesn't require any other sort of much additional heating. By bringing it down into the ground, we're able to use geothermal energy and geothermal heat to keep it passively cooled and heated, depending on the season, whether that's the summer or the winter months. For the grounds, we'll be able to produce a lot of different types of vegetables, again, fruits that you typically only see in the tropics. But because of how this is, we can bring it all the way up to the reservation. I think it's pretty phenomenal. This is some very really traditionally old design. This originally came from Walipini designs, which are out of South America, which you could probably find in the Andes still. But this is the more modern design, and I think we could probably move to the next one here.
Whoops, sorry, RT, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button.
Actually, I'll step back and say one of the main reasons for the why we're doing greenhouses, and you'll see another one later on in the presentation, is because there's a lack of really high quality fresh fruits and vegetables in the area, and due to COVID-19, there's been it was really strongly hit. The food systems were, and out of a drive to want to bring greater food sovereignty to the nation, as well as to provide really greater access to these fresh fruits and vegetables, we've taken a look at different types of greenhouses, from the more passive greenhouse that we saw, the greenhouse in the snow, to the greenhouse that you see here on the screen now. This is a series greenhouse. This is a solar greenhouse, very similar to the passive one seen before, but it is much more automated and futuristic, you could say. It's completely environment controlled, so if you could walk in there and it'll feel like the tropics all year round. We'll be having a hydroponic system in it that we supplied by AM Hydro. This will allow us to produce hundreds of pounds of leafy greens, of cucumbers, tomatoes, but different types of vine crops, really kind of whatever we're looking to do. And pretty much everything that is going to be produced in this greenhouse we'll be able to supply to the community, as well as sell directly to the casino. This is not only beneficial just by being able to offset some of the cost of the casino and the food prices there, but what this does is it gets, again, more fresh fruits and vegetables into the casino. I had the luck and great time of being able to live on the reservation for 2 months earlier this year, and I did eat at the casino a lot, and I think I might have gained a few pounds. And so now with this, we can always have some really incredibly fresh fruits and vegetables that are very tasty and organically produced.
I also like to add too that this is the kind of product that would go into the Grandview oil, and as well as we are taking this to a commercial level as we are working on contracts to sell these products commercially, and we'll have some exciting news coming in the future in regards to that too. Dr. anything else you want to share on that?
No, but we will be building this in the spring. We've already started the process of purchasing all the equipment for this. We'll also be using it to produce propagate different plants for our vegetable gardens and vegetable farm and our hemp farm. So it's a really incredible asset for agriculture for the reservation. This right here, again, kind of tying back to more of this passive, wild production styles like you would have seen at the thermal greenhouse. This is our mushroom project. So we're allocating a little bit of funds to this, just to kind of test it out and put our feet into the water. We will be using the totem style of production for mushrooms, and we'll be producing multiple different types of varieties, from oyster mushrooms like there to, I think the next one would be reishi, yes, and then lastly, let's see, all right, shiitake, yeah. So we do shiitake, and then one other one is the lion's mane mushroom.
Oh.
All these, again, are high in protein. They also are great immunostimulants, so they can support your immune system and help make you healthier. I myself take mushrooms at least once a day, the medicinal types, from like lion's mane, which has neuroprotective properties, to reishi, which is known as the mushroom of immortality in Chinese medicine. And we'll be able to produce this with very, very little materials, and it will keep producing for years as we are planting, quote unquote, spores into native and invasive species of woods that we'll be bringing underneath this tree cover that is right next to the tribal museum.
And our teas, the end product of these mushrooms will also be available through our clinic as well.
That's correct. Yeah, so we will be able to use these. We'll be able to sell the oyster mushrooms. Those are typically just a edible mushroom that we'll be able to sell at Grandview as well as elsewhere. The other mushrooms, which are more medicinal, we will be using those and taking them to our processing facility. We'll be making extracts and doing dried powders, which we will also be able to sell at the clinic and give away there as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So another project here we're looking at is that currently the tribe already owns a service vehicle, as you guys have seen here. You've probably seen it around. Looking at one of the things that we did when we were talking about the CARES funding and allocation is how do we maximize or utilize assets that we already have now and turn them from not just an asset but how we turn it into an economic development opportunity and generate some additional revenue or / savings. So what we did is we looked at, okay, well, we have this vehicle, we have people that know how. There's also a demand for tires in this area. So just for an example for today, we had some people order, I think there's a request for like 16 tires just today for the farm crew. They need some new tires. So rather than the tribe going out and spending money in Hiawatha or St. Joe or elsewhere paying retail for these tires, we felt it would be best to create jobs by bringing inventory and bringing a tire business to ourselves, so we can actually wholesale tires for the tribe, for government opportunities there, provide this service and automotive service for the people of the reservation as well. Because again, our idea here is, why don't we utilize funding to create jobs and keep revenues within our own community rather than sending it out to other communities elsewhere. Based on the analysis, there is another person that's supplying tires to retail, commercial, and ag, but he has enough volume in business that he does about 5 states of business. So we feel, and based on our early feasibility work thus far, has been determined that there is a market share that can be obtained that we feel that we should go after. Again, keeping the money locally, hopefully be able to provide a lower cost of goods and services for the community. Chairman, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, you basically covered everything, David. There's just one thing I would like to note, and just on the tire and the service, we've done this across the whole entire tribe, and what we did was we took a good hard look of where all of the tribe's dollars were going out for all of the items that the tribe would need, and we looked at different ways that we could develop and start up some businesses to create jobs and to bring and to keep those dollars here, because right now we're solely relying on our casino, White Cloud, which is has done a good job for us over the number of years, but it's time to diversify. We've learned this a number of years ago, and that's what we're doing now is showing all of the hard work that has been done by not only the existing executive committee, but the previous ones, and also the staff. And and that's one thing I just want to note is we're trying to find ways to create jobs, keep dollars here, and bring new dollars in, and that's what we did across the whole board. So super excited to see all this coming out to the membership, so they can learn what we've been working on. So that's all I have on the topic.
Thank you, Chairman. Okay, so continuing on, in addition to that, I apologize, the computer's going a little slow here. So, the trucking business, we're looking at currently establishing and expanding an actual trucking hauling business here. During one of my many visits, I had looked at the vehicles and assessed that these are assets that are in the field, and I learned that they were being used for about 3 to 4 months out of the year to haul the agricultural products, but the rest of the time they were not being maximized. And so, exploring the markets and looking further, we looked at employment opportunities. Do people have commercial licenses on the reservation? Can we provide this as an ancillary service to other businesses in the area? And based on our research thus far, it is a yes. There is a need and opportunity here to get into the trucking business. This will allow us to also look at 8A contracts. 8A is federal contracts that we can go after. As a tribal 8A, I'll discuss that a little bit further down the road, but it allows us to sole source on federal contracts without a cap. So we will be looking at how to maximize the assets in the field to have full year driving capabilities, and we are in discussion right now with some other entities to look at helping us operate and expand this opportunity as we move forward. Would anyone else like to add more to this?
I think that covers everything for now, David.
Okay. So the other aspect here, most of you already know. If you do not know, I'm sorry, I should assume that you may not know, that Grace Snow Sanitation has been established. It's been operating. It's done very, very well. Continues to grow and grow. I've had the pleasure of working closely with Tony and Tony Fee on this project, and Tony has done some really amazing work. We found some ways to actually cut the cost down by 50%. The cost to operations at least, and then also looking at expanding services. So I think currently the subscription right now is about 500, and we're looking to expand it to about 600. And we'll be providing services going further south. We've also procured a camera system. We'll be looking at more software to help them become more efficient. And also this year we also procured another truck to provide additional services to get to that point. Tony, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Well, maybe the truck was purchased a partial USDA grant, and the rest came out of the CARES funding, and also like to say if you got any people that down south or east, send them to Grace Snow's way.
Great, thanks Tony, and thanks for being so on top of that.
I'm glad he noted USDA funding as well, and it's just so the membership knows. The trash service, sanitation services, has been in operation since 1994, is when previous councils had started that. They actually, just a little bit of a history real quick, they actually purchased the truck and compactor. It was actually sitting in an old farm field, and it was rusted, and that's where we came from. And it's pretty rewarding to see the number of years in operation and the growth, and the purchases of the trucks, and it's just super exciting. So I know Tony's been over that for the last number of years, and we've got a really good crew, and I would like to just recognize the very first employee, which is Dave Wagner. That was the very first individual that was hired to run this operation. He's currently, just within the last few months, ran into some bad health, and he is currently retired. So I just wanted to acknowledge him for his hard work and dedication and the continued the service that he's provided over those number of years. And I think he'd be proud looking at the growth and what has been done since he's retired. So other than that, I think that's all I have on that, David.
Thank you. Yeah, it's quite remarkable. I met him, and such a nice, humble man. Glad I had a chance to spend some time with him. Moving on, this is a non-CARES project. I just want to show you a few of these other projects that are being in the works, that are being highlighted. I won't take too much time on these here, but this is a smart farm project. We've been approached by a very well-known and large agricultural farm equipment manufacturer, as well as a very large cellular provider, to partner up together and collaborate in establishing what we call a smart farm project, which they call it the Center of Excellence. They want to use this site. They've determined that the Iowa tribe is the most viable tribe, as their experience, knowledge, and know-how, as well as land, to do a smart farm demo site. So this site would be a site to show what can be done, what's being done, and how it works. This has been a long-term effort led by Chairman Tim Rod on this project. And Chairman, would you like to say a few more words about this project?
Yes, David, thank you for that. So the Smart Farm project, this is one of the reasons that when David had mentioned the 2.5 gigahertz and trying to expand, our broadband coverage, because right now what we are experiencing is, due to our remote location and, the rolling hills and the lack of cell phone towers and coverage in those areas. So what we've been doing is a lot of the equipment that we are currently running today on the farm operation is capable of capturing all of the data that we need to capture to make better decisions in agriculture. And that will also be a tool to help us transition out of monocultures and get into regenerative agriculture, heal our land, and then provide those food products as we mentioned earlier. So this is going to be, like David said, we do have a number of large individuals sitting around the table along with USDA, and they're very excited to see this. Our location, centrally located in the United States, they've talked about having training sessions here on the reservation. Producers and other ag operations can come and take advantage and learn of the different practices that we're covering on the reservation.
Thank you. Sorry, I jumped a little too quick on this one here, but I just want to show you, this site is known to most people as Doopy Hollows or Pauline's Ponds, I believe. I also just want to share that recently, actually, I'm going to pass this to Artis.
Hi there, everyone, again. Yes, so recently I and Brett Doble, a travel member and someone who works for the hemp farm and has worked for the General Roll Crop Farm for about a year now, we flew out to Idaho and we took a class on doing some of the contractor training to learn how to build a house using hemp. From the hemp crop that we grew this year, we have a lot of leftover byproduct material, mainly the stem and the stalks. What we'll be able to do with all these stems and stalks, as well as from byproduct from other different farms near our area, from Kansas City to Manhattan, is build houses, and we'll be building some different houses for tourism as well as for the community using this. Hemp is a pretty incredible plant, as you can make batteries, houses, and medicine out of it. For our purposes, again, we'll be building a little bit more tiny houses, and then from there expanding into single-family housing. Hemp is an incredibly insulative property, has pretty incredible insulative properties. That if you have about a 10-inch wall, you'll have around an R36 insulation. It is not a structural component of this. You still need to have framing in some way. But it does take away from the need for having to do siding or drywalling. You can use just purely hemp. It is fireproof, it is antimicrobial, as well as has passive heating and cooling properties. So when you build a house out of hemp, you dramatically reduce your electrical costs as well as your heating costs. But if you're using something like propane, and that is another reason, why this does kind of tie to CARES is, when we want to consider a better house that is more sustainable and has a better adaptability to a changing climate and a changing ecosystems, we need something that can adapt with that. And hemp houses really can adapt to the environment that they are within. And then from these, we'll also be having solar panels attached to them, again, making them even more resilient, and making it so that they can really stand off the grid completely.
So I also want to note that this location, again, is only at a discussion level. There are many sites that are being considered for various uses. For example, we can use hempcrete for homes. We can use hempcrete for like pots, making flower planters. We're looking, we can build houses that are bigger. The important aspect here is that in the hemp program, we want to make sure that the entire plant is used for a variety of reasons. So I think that through the community, you may have heard of Soj, the smokable flower product. We have a CBD product. We'll have a variety of products, and we'll now have the hempcrete. So we're making sure that we don't have waste from the hemp plant, and that we are using every part of the plant based on what resources and needs are within the community. Would anyone like to add anything else to that? Oh, I also want to add in that this could be used for single-family housing, veteran housing, senior housing, for a variety of needs. So we have enough product, I believe, that we can produce 2 smaller units, or a few smaller units for at least this first year. And as we go through that process, we'll consider bringing on more and more material, and building more and more facilities or projects with that. Just as a side note, when people bring our product to our processing facility for this purpose, we usually take their shivs, so their waste, and it's actually kind of somewhat usually donated to us in a way that we can use for this purpose. So we're just ensuring that we use every part of the plant to the best of our ability. Artis or anyone else want to speak on this matter?
Just lastly, if you happen to see some hemp standing on the side of the road, you can always cut it down and bring it to us. We'll get something out of it.
Okay, so another quick thing. I know this is not, it says CARES, but this is not the CARES plan we're talking about. This photo that I have here is just for visual purposes only. It has nothing to do with the actual facility. But what I'm showing here is that the White Cloud Health Clinic is looking to expand, offer services to have lab, as well as making sure that the facility is set up in a way to protect the community and to protect the providers of the services within the facility. So there is an expansion and remodel. Actually, I should say remodel, not really an expansion, I guess, per se. Is that correct, Tim?
That's correct, David.
Thank you.
Just so the membership knows, a few years back, we were able to enter into a compact with IHS to, operate, White Cloud Health Center. And, with this facility growing as well, and due to COVID, we were able to obtain dollars to develop and build a COVID suite over into the existing, what we call the Wellness Center. So we're super excited to have this new expansion, due to, the number of positive COVID tests here, and also the, it takes about an hour between each test, for the staff to get to the next patient. So this is actually going to assist us in several ways, and we're excited about this project as well.
And I believe Dr. Briar Ash will be discussing this project more in depth during his upcoming session next month.
That is correct.
Also, part of that here is the photo here is Dr. Briar Ash and Chairman Tim Rod. This house was recently acquired, and this has been designated as what we call the COVID-19 house. Currently, this building is going to be reconstructed to have 2 floors of living. Each floor will have its own entrance. This house is designed to help isolate families that have been infected into a housing situation and isolate them during that time to ensure the community is safe. So I'm not sure exactly how many rooms there will be in each floor, but I think Dr. Bardash will go into further details on that. Tim, is there anything else you'd like to share about that? Okay. Moving on, I will just summarize this in general. There are a variety of projects that are happening right now. No, projects are being discussed and reviewed throughout the tribe. I'm going to show you the bigger one here. Is going off of more of a renewable energy platform. So we're calling this the Iowa Tribe Community Microgrid. A microgrid is essentially a portfolio of renewable energy to help provide a lower cost of power, high resiliency and reliability of power. And this will provide power for the area, most of the buildings in this area. That's including the casino. What I'm putting here in the middle would actually be a large solar array field here. And then there's going to be a couple other solar arrays throughout there here, 2 other smaller ones with energy storage to provide greater use of renewable power. It's important that, it's important to understand that sovereignty truly means you need to have energy sovereignty is one of the main pillars. And rather than being reliant on the utility, and the fact that you're at the end of the utility line now makes it that your reliability and resiliency of energy is not there, and also the fact that we're using energy from the land could be a critical component. So we're looking at the community microgrid. We're calling that community microgrid here, as you see here. We're looking at one for emergency response center, which is the admin building and the Ogden building, as well as the health clinic above, and then also looking at other housing sites throughout the community as well to ensure that the community always has power in the event of an outage. And also make sure it's more reliable and green. I believe that's gonna. I already covered that one. Yep. So for me, that's all the projects that we have at this point in time. Here's the slow layout for the clinic, the community building, and that is for the administration building. This is not that many panels, by the way. We should still got one side, but this is just to show some concept at this point in time. I am going to now shift a tab over to show everyone the allocation of the funding, how that went. 1 second, please. I'm not sure everybody can see this very well or not, but this will also, this is another administrative note here. We will be having a members only tab on the government website coming soon. To access the members only area, you will need to register, and it will require your enrollment number. Once you have that, you'll be able to log in and you'll be able to see this session recorded as well as the documentation that I'm sharing with you. I don't know if you can see at the very bottom here, the tribe received approximately about $2.3 million in CARES funding. All the projects that we've discussed and covered in today's session are listed here, as well as their dollar amounts applied towards each project. We have an amount of around $28,000 remaining at this point in time, but it's also at this point it is going to be considered our reserve because we need to. Some of this pricing in here or the numbers in here are not solid. These are some of our estimates. As they become more and more accurate, we will update these numbers to reflect the true dollar that was spent on these particular projects. so bear with us. But some are fairly accurate, some are some estimates at this point in time, but we'll be fine-tuning this. So as you see, the 2.3, essentially all of it has gone to allocation to help prepare the tribe for a greater economic future that's more diverse, more reliable, and resilient. Especially if this pandemic situation doesn't change, we want to make sure that we have the resources to provide true sovereignty for the reservation. Robbie, or would you like to talk more about how we went through this process from a legal aspect? I'm not sure if Robbie's still with us. I will go ahead and continue on this part here. To let everybody know, the tribe had retained an attorney to help us ensure that we were carefully allocating these funds in the correct fashion. So the attorney has helped us, and they have reviewed these projects. Each project requires a write-up of what is the use for, how is it going to help the community, how does it relate to COVID, and why does it make sense for us. The attorney has reviewed every single of the documentations and has given us approvals on each of these projects. This was recommended to us as a process to move forward to ensure that the tribe was diligent in allocating those funds in a correct fashion and will not be under critique or review by Treasury down the road as these funds are being used by other tribes across the nation. On another note to that, it was told to all tribes that the funding had to be spent and allocated by December of this year. We have done a significant amount of work. The Executive Council has been very, very hard at work in making this all happen to get this together at this point. We had heard that they may extend it through this CARES Act that's coming up again. But we wanted to be sure that we were not caught with an inefficiency or not allocating the monies properly. So we went ahead and allocated the way we have allocated it now, and we are ahead of the curve, assuming that Trump will sign off on this next CARES Act to allow us for that extension. If there's not allowance for the extension, we are still in good standing where we're at now, and we're excited to move forward on this. Would anyone else have any, Chairman or Lisa, anyone have anything to say about this at all? Oh, sorry, Tim, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Tim, I'm sorry, I think you might have been muted if you were saying something earlier, Tim. Oh. Why can't I hear everybody? Shit.
muted because a lot of people are on this call. Press star 6 to unmute.
Can you guys hear me at all? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? Sorry, I had a loss of sound for a moment. Artis, can you actually respond back to me verbally? Okay. That means I cannot hear you guys. 1 second.
Well, thank you. You're muted because a lot of people are on this call. Press star 6 to unmute. You unmuted yourself.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? Alright. I don't know what happened. For some reason that happened there. I did not hear what Robbie had to say, but I'm assuming it's all good things. Where are we at on this?
I think that completes everything for this evening, David. We open it, the question and answer.
Yeah, I also just want to kind of cap off one more thing really quickly before we do that. I just want to applaud the Executive Council for all the hard work you guys have put in. Not only are you guys trying to make things happen on a day-to-day basis, but dealing with COVID-19 and the setbacks and everything that's happened, you guys have provided a lot of resiliency and determination in making things happen. So I have worked with many types of corporations and groups and governments before, but I am honored to say that working with you guys are one of the most dedicated people to your community, and you guys show your work day in and day out. So a lot of this, wouldn't be possible without a lot of your guidance, your support, your leadership. So hats off to everybody, all the Executive Council for all your work, and you guys really should be tipping hats off to yourselves because this was not an easy process. A lot of things are going on. It's not easy times, but we're going to make the best of it. And I think right now we're really doing really well, and we're going to continue to ride that wave.
Yeah, and I want to follow that up too, David, and thank you for that. In leadership, we find that we don't hear the positives. It's always the negatives, and in leadership, it is a lonely role at the top. But so existing executive committee members, previous ones, and the ones that are no longer with us, it is because of them and what they have done during their leadership that we are able to be allowed to build upon what they have done for us. And that's exactly what this current executive committee is trying to accomplish, is for future generations, hundreds of years from now, is making sure that they have everything that they need to survive. And that's what we're trying to build. And I'm thankful for previous leaders. I'm thankful for everybody joining on today, and I do sincerely want to apologize for the lack of communication during my leadership to the membership. But we've realized that lack of communication, and we are putting things in place now to better communicate with our members, so you guys do know what is happening and what is going on. So, with all that being said, I would like to just make one more request to the membership, is if we can try to spread the word and the message of obtaining all of the contact information, emails, phone numbers and stuff like that, so we can keep up on communicating. Other than that, current executive committee members, I want to thank you for everything that we have been through this last year. Very challenging. It's been very stressful, but it's very rewarding to look back and to see what we've been through and what we're building for not only us but for future generations to come, and our kids, your kids, and everybody else's kids that's going to be coming along. So, thank you.
Thank you. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and open that up for a Q&A. So, anyone like to? Please unmute yourself, and we're here to provide any information that we can share. Also, please note.
Hi.
Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Rebecca Jones. It's so exciting to see all these projects and everything that is planned. Is there some place, like as we go forward, I see that there's, we have a whole lot of calls planned weekly for several months now. So when we go a little bit deeper into each of the projects, will we be getting information on timelines for these kinds of things? It is very exciting to see these things, the plan. But when are we going to see the actual things happening?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, we'll also be announcing them. But yes, I will let you know that a good portion of our projects that we've listed are targeted to start. They either have already started, or they're going to be targeted to start in Q1. But yes, you'll get timelines and more information on all those projects as we move forward. And again, as you know, some are more complex than others, so bear with us as we go along. The schedule has been somewhat designed because we'll have more information available on these particular projects as they come out. So that's why some of the projects are kind of scattered in there a little bit. But it's designed that way just due to timelines and when we expect to hear more information on certain efforts that we're making now. So yes, that will be coming.
And I just want to follow that up by saying keep an eye on our tribal Facebook page and our website, because Becca, we're going to be putting all that information. Well, some of it will be on the members tab on our tribal website, but other things that like to announce maybe when things are like beginning, like shovel in the dirt type of information, that kind of stuff, that will be put onto our tribal Facebook page and our tribal website. Okay, so just so that everybody will know where we are and what's happening.
Thank you for that. And then I had, go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ruth. I was just going to comment. I wanted to thank you for bringing that up. And if there's any other ideas as far as communications and stuff, email any of us. And we're trying to find creative ways, thinking out of the box to try to reach the membership entirely. So I want to thank you for bringing that to us. And if there's anybody else that's on the call, or if they have other family members or relatives or anybody else that has ideas, we're open to hear those as well. So.
No, I think this is excellent. I think our membership has been asking for this for a really long time, for ways for people that don't live here in the area to be involved and to know that, what's going on and ways that they can be involved. So I think this is excellent, and I hope to see as we move forward more tribal members being able to join the calls, and I'll do my part to spread the word, and why weren't you on that call? And that's your opportunity to get your questions answered. So with that, I do have another question, particularly how it relates to COVID and how it has impacted our tribal community. Many tribes have done cash to, or done distributions to their members to help pay for things. When they weren't able to work, or when their unemployment has ran out, or they're not able to seek a job because of the shutdowns in the area, or having to up their broadband speed to their house so their kids can go to school and things like that. Obviously, I'm sure you guys considered that and have clearly decided against that. So my thought is, or my question is, what are you hearing from our members as to what their needs are, and then how are they able to meet those needs without doing some type of distribution like that?
Yeah, thanks, Rebecca. And just to comment, we did not 100% rule against that, and there are programs within Native American Family Services and CARES Act funding that are being developed currently, right now, that will be able to assist, tribal members. I think the maximum amount that they can apply for, and correct me if I'm wrong, EC, but the maximum amount that they could apply for was $500. And we felt, $500 was enough to cover, simple repairs such as a hot water heater, or if their furnace breaks down and they need it repaired, those types of things that, and we do have several members that are experiencing problems with food and bills, and we are working with those. But that's the whole other thing on the communication. We've got to hear from the membership on what they need, and it could just be a simple phone call, just letting us know, hey, I don't have this. I don't have enough food for the week for my family. Do you guys have anything available? And I know the clinic, they're using a portion of their funding for their purchasing food. So there's still programs. It's not the majority of it was covered as far as those items that you discussed, but funds that are being allocated towards programs like that. And EC, feel free to jump in and comment anything else on that topic.
Well, I do know that when we did talk about at the beginning, when other tribes were giving out money to their citizens, we did talk about it. But overall, in the scheme of things, many of those tribes that did give out that money, they got a lot more money than we did, and unfortunately, we're able to do a lot of great programs with this money that we receive. Do a lot of good projects that we've only been able to think about and dream about, for the last how many years. But I think we figured it out, and Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, that if we would have, taken our membership and we divided it, gave them out money, it would have been less than $100 each.
So to follow up on that, is there? I know there are some tribes that have a challenge that however they decided, Treasury decided to allocate those funds, the CARES Act funds. Did our tribe join in on any of those challenges, or make that known to our representatives that that does not meet the need of our members?
Rebecca, this is Robbie, and I will tell you that the Big Fire attorneys have kept me abreast on all that we're not their only tribal client. So anytime that our attorney would email out and said, hey, there's these tribes, we even joined, I think Prairie Band had one either protest or something, but the way they were limiting the tribes on how to spend the money, just on certain things. And we did join that. And so I told her to include us on that. So yes, we have joined some of those fights.
Thanks, Rob. And Becca, thank you.
No, thank you all. I'm so proud, and my heart is just full seeing all the things that y'all are doing, and it just makes me so proud to be a member, even in this time of COVID.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And Rebecca, that's this is just the items that we covered here tonight. That's just the tip of the iceberg. We're just scratching the surface. There's a lot more behind the scenes that's been happening, and that's we'll be sharing that on a weekly manner for the next few months, and I'm hopeful that we'll get a number of members on, and just doesn't end up like old general council meetings where we couldn't even have a quorum to conduct our business. So hopefully this is going to work better, and I think with the way technology is and the technology that we are bringing into the tribe that we've lacked for a number of years, those are all tools that we can better communicate with each and every one of you guys. So that's exciting to see, and like I said before, I do apologize on behalf of myself, and I know the other members of the EC feels this as well, but we did realize that we did lack the communication, and we are putting things in place to make things better. So bear with us during this, because we are learning different ways, and the technical side of things as well. So other than that, anybody else? That would be another question out there. Don't be scared, guys.
Well, I just want to let everybody know also that I appreciate everybody who has joined this call tonight. I know it's a sort of a stressful time. You know, we're right before before Christmas. Oh my gosh! And you know, and like many of us, myself included, a lot of people I think are doing last minute shopping or whatever they're doing. But if everybody on this call can encourage, once we get the members tab up on our website, encourage your family and encourage other people who are tribal citizens to check this out so that they can know what we're doing, because you know, the more we expand our communication, the better things are going to get. The better, you know, the back and forth will go, so that it's not just going to be, well, we heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody at Grandview. Instead, we can have these discussions, you know, that we can really get a lot of work done. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm just as excited as everybody else is about all these projects we have to do. It's mind-blowing when you think of how much work has been done. Really since March. It's incredible. And I'm just really proud of everybody on the team, but I'm really proud of all of our tribal citizens, because, you know, we're doing it for you guys. We're not doing it for ourselves. You know, we're doing it for our children, for our children's children, everything we believe in as Native people. You know, that we go those 7 generations forward. That's what is constantly in my mind in a meeting. You know, it's not for us. It's for everyone. So it's exciting, and I can't wait till next year this time to see everything that we've done and we've accomplished and the new things that we're going to be starting. So, but thank you all for.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
Thank you, Elise.
Thanks, Elise.
Any other questions? Tribal members? Comments? Suggestions? Anything? EC members, do you guys have anything you would like to add?
I guess I'd just like to thank everybody for taking time out of their busy schedules, you know, this busy time of year, and taking time out to come learn and listen to what's going on. And always feel free to call. You know, do not be afraid to call and get answers. I guess that's my biggest thing as being on the executive committee is, you know, I hear rumors all the time. Somebody will come into the office and give rumors this, rumors that. And it just, you know, I just wish, just pick up the phone and ask. I'm not going to lie to you. You may not like the answer I'm going to give you. I'll go through the decision process, my decision process. But all I can do is tell you, you know, how I was thinking and my decision process and the whole matter and everything, but I will not lie to you and you get a straight answer. And I think you get that from any of the executive committee members. So if you have questions on something, pick up the phone, send an email. We know that this communication has got to get better, and we're working really hard to make it get better. And please encourage people to update their addresses and their emails so we can get information out to them. But thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedules to come listen to our presentation tonight.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. And I also want to follow up on that too. Is that you know, any insight or ideas is always appreciated. So, you know, rather than taking the energy to criticize, you use that energy to create, provide us ideas, suggestions, insights, and, you know, let the executive council see what we can do to make those things happen. You know, because it's any information, any tips from membership would always be appreciated. So I would reiterate, do reach out to any of us, the executive council, or us, or me as economic development coordinator, or Artis regarding some ag projects. We'd love to hear your suggestions and to collaborate more with you all. So if there are no more questions, I think someone else has a question. Go ahead, Linda.
Yeah, I just have a suggestion on the seniors trying to access this to watch it, because right now we can't go and show them how. So I didn't know, maybe you guys somebody could put an instruction thing like in their meals that they get
Oh,
to explain
yeah.
to them how to get on here.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up, Linda. Yes, and David, that's something we can definitely do. Not a problem at all. We can get that through senior meals, and we could also distribute that out via social media, websites, and then the emails that we do have.
Yes, I tried to walk my dad through it.
Oh yeah.
It didn't happen.
And tell him not to be embarrassed, because I have troubles with technology myself. So, and I know the struggles that some of our elders are probably going through with not knowing how to get access to these events. So we will take that into consideration and definitely make that happen, and try to find other ways that we can better communicate with those elderly individuals.
I'm sure they'd love to be able to see what's going on.
Yes, they would, and that's the whole thing we're trying to do here is provide all of this information that we've worked on, a number of years to the membership, and we want them to be a part to see and learn on where what we were doing, why we were doing it, and what it's going to do for not only just like us, but for your grandkids, your kids, and their kids. We'll be long gone, and
right.
So that's the whole thing we're trying to do is bring this tribe together and see what we can do to grow our tribe into becoming who we once were, and that's the forefront leaders here in the state of Kansas. And I believe we're actually on the path with getting that done. So. David, do you and RTs, do you guys have anything else on that with reaching some of the elders as far as different ways of communicating?
No, I think that's a good start with the instruction aspect of it, and we'll look and try to find some other ways to share that as well. And sorry, Artis, I cut you off, but yeah, we'll work on that. Artis?
Sorry. Yeah, and I was going to say, so for each one of the webinars that we'll be doing going forward, there'll be presentations that are going along with them. So what we can do also is just provide printouts of each presentation that they can read over what's all being discussed, and this also contains kind of brief summaries of each of the different projects and what's going on, and provides more information on timelines, so that for those who don't have internet access or have difficulty accessing this, there will always be a physical document that they can look at.
Great, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Linda. Thanks, Artis, David, for that as well. Any other members that have any questions, comments, or suggestions? Last call. I think that it seems like that's all the questions that we have for tonight, David. And again, I want to thank each and one of you guys, and also the membership, for participating tonight. And we're looking forward to the better communication to show you guys what this tribe is building. And super excited, and thank you guys for being a part tonight. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and everybody stay safe. And other than that, I don't have anything else.
I just wanted to say happy holidays and stay safe and healthy, please, everybody. Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody. Stay safe. You'll be hearing more from us in the future, and thank you for the opportunity. Take care. Good evening.
Good evening. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.